Good morning. It is day 73 of the Mississippi River Trail, where I, as a single mom, am paddling the Mississippi River from Minnesota all the way down to Louisiana with 7 of my 15 kids.
We're a family of 15 kids. One mom and Smokey Bear.
And the 7 youngest of us are paddling the whole Mississippi River.
This is chaos made fun.
Come follow our adventure.
Okay, today the weather is not cooperating a whole lot, but it is getting there. It's still raining. It is definitely still raining. And that is how much it rained while we were here. We were to paddle St. John all the way past Chester, and it rained that day. Then we were to paddle from wherever we left off there, paddle into Gerardo, and it rained that day. And now it is raining again. But today the weather is supposed to clear up, supposedly, so we're just gonna go ahead and take our chances and put in on the water because we have a little bit of a drive to get to where we should have been on the river by now had it not been for rain. So that is where we will pick up. So it's miles jumped, it's sad, we didn't get to experience everything we wanted to. However, we've come up with creative solutions like we did for the other parts where wind affected us. So that means, and it looks a little confusing, so you just gotta kind of stay with us and try to understand how we're doing this because it is how we got creative on the AT too. But because we were not able to get to Gerardo like we had planned and rain was such an issue and sort of kind of continues to be, and there's more rain forecasted, we are going to do the confluence today. We are putting in about where schedule wise we should have left off down that road or that piece of river. And then for the rain days coming up that are forecasted within the next 7 days, we will take those days and do education in Gerardo since it is so rich in history. So we're actually doing it kind of out of order, but if you kind of hang with us, you'll understand the order in which we're doing it. So it's a very, very big day, especially after rain. We are also wanting to do the Ohio Confluence before more rain comes in, I think, 2 or 3 days. So we're grateful for the rain. That means current will be good. However, we don't want too much current when we do Ohio and Mississippi Confluence. So we feel after lots and lots and lots of strategizing yesterday, like 4 hours of back and forth of what the possibilities are, we feel this is the best way we could do it. So we have found where to put in and we are headed that direction. It does mean a 2-hour drive from where we are based out of. So we are now leaving the lovely, lovely Powhatan Boat Club and traveling further on south where we are more accessible to the areas of river we should be in by now. So we are so thankful for this place. Look, it's so perfect. It provided such a good homey little stay while it just rained and rained and rained outside. It's actually not that cold. So we had a fire in the fireplace 24/7 the entire time we were here, and we met lots of people. The boat club people have been stellar. The members and Dave, sweet Dave, came by like 5 times a day to check on us, and every time he came by, they treating you good? They treating you good? So he was so kind. But Dennis, Mike, Dave, Tom, Brenda, Deneen and her husband, and so Scott, all Jim, everybody. There's so many people I could list that we have met here. So there again, it's like a little river family, and it makes you feel at home, and it kind of helps ease the homesickness because we're in another bout, or maybe the longer we're out here, the homesickness gets a little more intense as we go. Very ready to see Baxter. Odessa is starting to take steps. So that's when you realize you've missed a whole lot and you're ready to go home and see and hug everybody. Ivy came in second for her, the entire region as far as rugby goes. So she's done stunningly well at rugby, and she has been chosen to be on one of the elite teams that travels out of country to play rugby. So Grant and Garrett, they're both vibing. They're trying to find a place of their own. So I just want to get home before they get out of the house and move out. I want to be home with them. So homesickness kicks in pretty good. And Aubrey changed jobs, so she's got a new job, and it's just change. Life still happens while you're gone, and you want to be there and part of it. So yes, that's the update on the home crew. So let's go paddle some very big water and meet the Ohio River. It's about time. Are you done?
Cleaning.
Up?
Cleaning.
All right, last bit of cleanup before we are out of the Powhatan Boat Club. So we have swept in here, all is well. This was the site where we slept, crashed, played, and did all the fun stuff during the rain. So, once over of this, getting finished cleaning up in here, where all the food and fun took place. And we're almost ready to go. What you doing, Oatmeal?
Cleaning
Oh, what are you cleaning?
the table.
You getting it not so sticky? Gosh, man, what are you doing?
Cleaning the table.
You're doing a good job.
Am I doing a good job?
What are you doing?
I cleaned down the table.
All right, once over of the place, it is looking good. Tables are cleaned off, floors are swept, tables over here cleaned off and wiped down. They got a little sticky. And that is the water that Deneen and her husband brought us. So, and it is completely empty. That's how much water we go through. So huge thank you to them. All right, here we go. Smokey putting out the fire. Don't leave anything burning, even in a fireplace. So not our house, not our property, and not ours to jeopardize. So putting out the fire. Otherwise, everything looks good. Here we go. Check out the outside. We brought lots of firewood up, so we swept the best we could. So that was still a little grimy, but we brought a lot of firewood up, and huge thank you to them that let us use all of their firewood that was here. But for the most part, this looks good. It couldn't get swept as much as it needed. Okay, looks as good as it possibly can, given the very wet conditions. Ball back in the ball pit. Basketball provided hours and hours and hours of fun. They lived on the concrete while it wasn't raining. And while it was raining, actually. So everything is loaded. We are good to go. Let's go see the Ohio River.
Get alerts when we release new episodes. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Road tripping to our boat put in at north of the Ohio Confluence. So this is what it looks like when we are road tripping. Miss Diana's still with us. She's staying a few more days, and she's got a little two with her, and Grisham's back there. But correction, I have two corrections to make because me and my brain be kind of dumb with life a lot of times, and I don't get named right. So it is not the Palatine Boat Club. It is the Platten Boat Club that was so astonishingly loving to us. So they loved and loved and loved on us. They fed us, they accommodated us, they housed us. Oh my goodness, they did all the stuff for us. But Platten Boat Club, huge thank you to the Platten Boat Club. And they are located in Crystal City, Missouri. So, and y'all, Festus, Missouri is a poppin' place. They got a 7 Brew and the 2-story Planet Fitness. They have everything. They have a Culver's, which North Carolina, Virginia, Texas, I don't think, they don't have Culver's. But they got banging hamburgers. But they have a little bit of everything. It is a nice city. So huge shout out and a huge thank you to all the members, even if we did not get the chance to meet you, to the Platten Boat Club. And also, on a name note, the cabin we stayed in the river a while back in Burlington, when we actually shuttled off the river to kind of go into hiding for a few days so I could regroup and all that. His name is not Jim. I have to make that correction, and I have to make it publicly. I made it in comments on the page, but I have to actually say, like, he's so great, and his name is not Jim. His name is John. So, yeah, me and my brain, I blame it on 15 kids and life and everything we've been through. So I just, yeah, but there's no excuse for it. His name is John, and he is stellar, and he rolled with it and thought it was funny, and so now all his friends are calling him Jim. So, huge thank you to John. And John, you know we love you, and it was amazing. And his cabin, man, oh man, that was a fun night. That was our Boo Crew night. So if you didn't see the pictures of that, I think they're coming up. But we did a Boo Crew night. That place was so special that it earned the award of being the place we finally did our base layers, and a nod to what we did on the AT. So the kids loved it. It was special to them. They were begging to do it again. So John's place got the award of Boo Crew base layer night. We are road tripping to north of the Ohio Confluence. So let's go say hi to the Ohio. We've reached the recommended put in, but everything is always unknown, and there has been lots and lots of rain. So we're walking to the recommended area, and we're also scoping out down river of it to know what's ahead, and it does not sound good. It sounds like a lot of water. This right here is why you always, always, always check your downriver. I'm going to be quiet. If you can hear that, that is water. And it sounds like a waterfall. People, this is the importance, and I cannot stress this enough. If you're going to do these things, you have to look at what's downriver, because we could put in up there where the boat ramp is, or well, it's not a boat ramp, but it's a walk down. And had we put in up there, we would encounter this. So when you do adventures, you must know what is in front of you to some extent. And this is a huge nope. Our plan had been to put in on a smaller river about 0.4 up and tie into the Mississippi. This is the Cache River. The Cache River is meeting the Mississippi right here. That is nothing you want to take on. While it was probably a great entry point before the rain 2-3 days ago, it is no longer a viable option. But for those of you that want to know, risk assessment, all this is part of the adventure, this is part of the journey. Had we put in blindly up there, we would have been in a bind. So, always scope it out, especially with rain having been part of the picture. Scope out the unknown. So, that being said, we're moving on to plan B and another option that may be viable. But this one clearly is not. Alright, so you know, there are people that can actually do that. But for canoers that are through paddlers with kids part of the picture, that is a death machine. It is just a washing, churning machine of chaos, irresponsible decisions, and dangers. It very easily could lead to imminent death. So when people say these things in the comments, those are the kind of things they're talking about. That is not the Mississippi River. That is the Cache River, in which we could have put in a few days ago and used it as a closer spot to where our mileage would have left off, and we would have camped had we stuck to our miles and whether or not been an issue. So now we will go to plan B and figure that out. But that is the importance. I cannot stress enough. Look downriver, know your risk, be educated, research, scope it out. But I do not advocate for anyone just to put blindly on a river and say all families can do this. Families can do this, but you gotta be smart about it. And right back there is being smart. Go down, look at what's in front of you, scope it out, and then make an educated decision. All right, that's obviously a huge nope. So we are defaulting to plan B. It is further south than we wanted because we are trying to match up our miles and stay true to as much as we can when accounting for weather. However, that is not possible. I would have loved to have seen it 3 days ago before all the rain. Before all the rain, it would have been really cool before and after. But we didn't know we were gonna have to take this route, and we didn't count on 3 days of rain. We counted on like 1, or 2 at the most, but it actually ended up being 3. So we are moving farther south to a boat ramp that is actually on the river rather than a tributary that comes into the river and joins it. So we'll be starting there, headed down to Cairo, Illinois, and it has a huge reputation, but we will not be spending any length of time there. We are putting our boats in and we are getting out of Cairo because apparently Cairo has the reputation of the Wild Wild West, and we're not trying to do any gunslinging today. So headed to Cairo now, putting in there, actually on the Ohio side, which we are trying not to do, putting in on the Ohio side and going to join the Mississippi that way. But there again, won't know that until we get there and have a look at the river. Rumor has it the Ohio is much more congested traffic-wise than the Mississippi. But Cairo, for those who don't know, is right there on the point of the confluence. So their boat ramp just happens to be on the Ohio side rather than the Mississippi side because they sit in between the two. And fun fact, where Mississippi comes in and Ohio comes in, on the west side of the Mississippi is Missouri, on the east side is Illinois, and Ohio is actually the state line divider. The Ohio River is the state line between Illinois and Kentucky. So we will actually be paddling Kentucky, Illinois, and Missouri today. Very fun fact. I did not know that until I did all the research on this river, and Ohio is the state line. So very cool to know that. But we're gonna go take a look at that. If that proves to be a huge note too, we will actually have to put in below the confluence, which is not what we want at all. We want to be able to paddle the confluence because it's one of the most epic things about this journey is that everyone talks about. It was the North and experiencing it. It's St. Louis, it's the confluence, and it's Memphis. Those are the huge mile we have all these miles behind us and we're ready to go, and to not do it would be a little bit of a disappointment. But as always, safety comes first. We'll have a look at Cairo, and if barge traffic proves to be too much on the Ohio, or should it not be a viable put in for whatever reason, then we will put in below the confluence by I think 2 miles and paddle south from there. So this is improvising, adapting, and overcoming, and keeping everyone safe. Once again, while solo adult through paddlers can do much of this, none of them would have done what was back there, nobody. But while many of them can stay true to the course, we err on the side of way more caution and safety mindedness, especially where water is concerned. So it looks a little bit different when a family does it rather than a solo adult through paddler. That being said, meet the reality of doing any adventure as a family. But it's all good. It's not a bad day, not a crisis. We got there, we learned a lot, we saw the risk, and said no. So we're moving on to plan B. So let's go check out Cairo. Y'all, we have entered Cairo, and this town is crazy. It's like apocalyptic. These are flood walls that actually close when the rivers rise and protect the town. It's like fortress walls, which is crazy. Now where are we going? Oh, Marquette. We know Marquette. Oh God. See all the places that you just never expect to be. We are in Cairo, and Cairo is a very, very apocalyptic type of town. Buildings are crumbling and like deserted. It's crazy. This is the stuff movies are made of. And this is the Ohio River. Up there you can see the point right there in the mist and the fog of where the two rivers meet. But so far barge traffic looks promising. Not too much, nothing more than what we've already done, so all well on that front. So plan B, we are now on the Ohio because there is no good put in on the Mississippi except for 44 miles up. The one where we would have island camped and left off was a little below, and that was what we just saw, the Cache River that ties into it about 0.4 above. We would have camped around in that area somewhere, so we were trying to account for those miles, but it is not worth the risk. So we are now in Cairo, and there's Marquette. We've seen a lot of Marquette. But this is the Ohio River because there is no put in on the Mississippi side. We are having to get super creative, and as always on these adventures, improvise, adapt, and overcome. They never look like what you think they're gonna look like, and that's okay too, because we're still accomplishing the purpose of going from Minnesota to Louisiana, just in every 32 feet way, creative way possible. So this is the put in. It looks good, it looks safe. It's a designated boat ramp. These are the swells that you can see that the tugs and the tows put out. That is a lone tug, and those are its swells, her swells probably. So we will put in here. Barge traffic looks absolutely doable. Nothing overwhelming, nothing we haven't. He's moving out there, if you can see. He's moving, barges around, but nothing we haven't already done. And right past the mist and the fog, we will be on the Mississippi. And we will have done the confluence. Not quite how we thought we would, but that's all good. Alright, this is our put in. This is the location we didn't really want, but we're having to make it work today because of the tributary that led into the Mississippi being a huge no. So this is our put in at the Cairo boat ramp on the Ohio side, and there is the Mississippi. So we will do our miles starting from here and go south as far as we can for the day before we miss tomorrow and the following day due to heavy rains and more of it. But we're paddling while we can today, so doing this
Can I get a hug?
There you go.
Hey, Mom.
Here goes our van. All right, we are successfully across the Ohio River. Traffic is behind us. No moving traffic in front of us so far. Navigated across and are going to the opposite side of the bank where the confluence is so that we do not deal with the current that lies between the two rivers. And if you look out there, there are actually buoys out there, much like a dam, that do not allow the ships, it looks like, to go into where the rivers meet up. So much like actually a dam or any kind of huge water output from hydro plants, the point of it is actually buoyed off where you cannot go there. So that's actually kind of comforting. I did not know that. Alright guys, see this current right here? Right here, what we are currently trickling over. The ripples in the water. This is officially the currents meeting of the Ohio and the Mississippi. That is the Mississippi, that bridge over there. This is the Ohio behind us and that bridge. The Ohio seems significantly larger than the Mississippi. And that is how we came in via the Ohio River to join back in. That was it, the little ripple right there. That disturbance right there is the currents meeting. And that's after all the rain. So I say we did pretty good. We're gonna come over here, take a break, take some pictures, celebrate, and paddle south. So this is typically all underwater. This is not ordinarily above water. This is how low both rivers are. This is the actual confluence of the Mississippi and the Ohio. But dude, it's a beautiful beach. Look at this. It's so beautiful. Look where the water line usually is. Way, way, way over there. That is the typical water line. And these are the exposed sandy beaches. And just so you know, this is what's usually dredged. This is what the river would look like if it were not dredged. And out there, those are not buoys, so you don't go on the point. That is actually the channel. So correction there. But look, we officially did it, y'all. This. So for all the fear mongering, all the things, we weigh out our risk. And that is the Mississippi right there. And to the left over here is Missouri, Mississippi River Bridge. That is Illinois, that is Cairo, and the point of it. Over here is the Ohio River. This is the Ohio River Bridge over to Kentucky. So we are officially in Kentucky. We can add that state to our list and we are on the corner of 3 states. So just so you know, like, I want to educate people on this journey as well. I absolutely want to educate people as to what's possible. Yes, you weigh out the risk. This morning and our plan A was definitely scoping and adapting because it was absolutely nothing to even be messed with. But we got to plan B and it's not exactly how I wanted to do it, but we can say we paddled the Ohio River. And word has it that the Ohio River is more congested and worse than the Mississippi where they come in. So we just did the more difficult aspect of it from what we've been told by people. So y'all got a good general idea of the traffic over there on the Ohio River side where we put in at the Cairo boat ramp. And over here is the Mississippi. And I do agree that it's more congested, lots more work going on over there, but it was nothing that was not navigable. And we in fact went around a barge that saw us and waved and honked, and they were happy to see us, and we continued on. So here we are, let it be known, right now with very, very, very low waters, low current, this is the confluence. And we felt confident in doing it today before more rain comes tomorrow and the following day. So we took it on today to get it while it's still low. What you think, Miss Not Oatmeal?
Fun.
Hey, what is that over there?
The confluence.
Yup. Of what?
The Ohio River.
What other river?
Mississippi.
Oh yeah. So what are we talking about?
A dirt bike that I might be getting.
You a little bit happy?
Oh, I'm excited. I got something to look forward to when I get home. All right, let me show y'all this bike. This bike is...
This is my 1999
right.
YZ125 that I just put
This
up here.
is years and years of saving, work, wishing, hoping.
And then hopefully I can get this and then get in motocross. There's going to be a little bit of upgrades to it, modifications. I might keep it at 125 for quite a while. Then it's going to be big board to a 144.
Oh yeah. Smokey, what do you think? We did it.
All 3/4 of a mile.
No, the confluence. We're through it. Here we are.
Well,
Look at this
hold
wide,
it.
beautiful world.
That's what I was doing when you guys pulled over to shore. I was in the middle of the confluence.
I know, and we're over here. Did you know that this is Missouri, that is Illinois, and that is Kentucky?
I was informed of that by our star, Opie.
Oh, you know those things.
I found one new boat, Mom. This thing moves.
You going to New Orleans like that? Oh yeah. Here you go.
Get it slower, get it slower. Fight. All right, I'm gonna have to park.
So, the perks, I don't even know if you want to call it a perk, of being a support driver. Stuff sometimes goes wrong, like today. But luckily, this nice gentleman happened to pass by because I was in the middle of nowhere, like literally dirt road, nowhere. And getting to the boat ramp where I'm supposed to be picking the crew up at, and I noticed the trailer was leaning to one side, so I got out to look. And I'm driving right now, limping her to a guy to weld it, but the trailer broke in half. I'll get some video when I get there. And I had to rig it up to hold it up. And guy said it was a couple miles, but I think I've driven 5 so far, and we still driving. So hopefully get the trailer fixed, get back, hopefully before they get there, probably not. And I don't know, man, fix this trailer. We need it.
All right, really good example of the traffic between the two rivers coming together. The orange out there are the buoys of the channel. And so there's a barge moving behind us and a barge moving in front of us. They are both in the channel. We are outside of the channel, so we are good and safe. They are not coming in over here. We're in very, very shallow sandbanks and sandbars, so they won't be coming over here where we are. Sometimes barges will move out of the channel to dock or whatever they need to do, especially around the industrial plants, but we are above a sandbar right now, so they will not be coming over here where we are. Alright, as y'all can see, this is all of the cart and barge traffic. This is very much heavily industrialized portion of the river we're coming into. These are all plants of some sort, loading docks, things like that. So we have a moving tow over here to our left. It'll come into the frame in just a minute. And then we have all of these cart vessels of different things over here on the left. So we are outside of the channel, green buoys mark the channel, we're riding the outside of it. But for everyone that says traffic, industry, all of that, this is what it looks like. So we are out here in the midst of it, and I assume it will grow much heavier as we work our way south, but so far it is nothing we can't manage. As always, we take it a day at a time, assess the situation, assess the traffic, the current, the wind, the weather, and this is today's. So it's doable, and we're doing it. Yo, this current is not banging, just so you know. I mean, we're just not paddling, we're sitting here, and this is after the confluence. And we're just sitting in the middle of the water, not moving. So for all of you that are telling stories about the current below St. Louis, when we don't paddle, we're not moving. So it just kind of, I mean, granted there's a channel over there, but yeah, we're just kind of vibing right here in the middle of the river below the confluence, and we are definitely not making progress unless we paddle our butts off. So we're going to paddle a lot. Yeah, this is us not paddling. Here we are. We're sitting. All right, there you have it. Real-time view of the current below not only St. Louis, but the Ohio Confluence. So the Wayne LaGrange is backing up behind us, and he just came out and waved and honked. So very, very cool. We've been watching him for a while. His things on top were spinning that I forget what they're called. But anyway, he started to move after we got past, and the captain came out and waved at us. So very, very cool. And here are the swells of his boat moving around. So very cool to see. And Bernard G over there to the right is moving around too. So how you navigate the shipping channel, barge channel, all that. But they're aware of us, we're aware of them. And we got a few honks and waves, so that's all good. That's Bernard G.
Bernard G. And Mom, can I radio and tell him the honk is honk?
There he goes.
Yeah.
Worthy of note, these are wing dams that are typically underwater. These are all, you can tell where the usual water line up there is, where the tree line is, and all of that exposed sand is typically underwater. So massive, massive lack of water in the river. Over there, the water line typically goes up to the green grass, and I'm not sure how far of a drop that is, but it's a significant one. And yes, it is currently raining on us. But yeah, that's how far down the river is. You can see the banks over there and where the water level is now compared to where it typically is. So that is how low even the main river is after the Ohio joins it. But yes, we can sing wing dams, and we have lots and lots of exposed campsites. So that's always nice too.
Went and got the trailer fixed. Leon is the guy that passed by and called his buddy Devin. And we limped it on over to his house, if you want to call it limping. Dude was doing like 40 miles an hour. But we ratchet strapped it up, put a chain around it, and limped her on over to Devin's house. And he welded it on up for us. As you can see, that's the side that was broke. And then this side, we went on ahead and stiffened her up on this side because it looked like that was getting a little loose. Nothing pretty, it's just a trailer, but she's better than what she was. So big shout out to Leon and Devin, man. Y'all lifesavers. If you're watching, thank you.
All right, here's some fun education right
Holy
there.
cow!
That is a barge, and that is the wave that is producing. So
It shows the
you
way.
can watch a little bit of what it produces. Let's see if we can zoom in a little. Oh yeah, look at his waves. Those are the waves produced by a barge.
Hello, how we doing today? Yeah. When you're in a local area such as this as we are, we're on the Mississippi River. We've got two large rivers coming together. It's called a confluence. It's the Mississippi River and the Ohio River. We get a lot of fear-mongering from the locals. Now, my suggestion is you take the advice that you hear from the locals, but stay with what you know too, because we heard about the convergence and everything and how dangerous it was going to be, but it turned out to be just another little current event. It wasn't much at all. There was some swirls there, but nothing more than you'd get around the end of a wing dam. It's just two different water currents coming together. They're both flowing downstream. They just get to circle a little bit, might turn the canoe a little bit this way or a little bit that way. It really was not a big thing. Like I said, the confluence, we heard a lot from the locals about the confluence and how dangerous it was going to be. Well, I kind of knew in the back of my head, even though I didn't want to say, hey, don't worry about it, because we always want to take into consideration what we're being told, but it really wasn't no big deal.
We successfully completed the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi River, where the Ohio meets the Mississippi. Lots and lots of planning, lots of waiting for this day, not knowing how it was going to be. And as you can see, we are all still here. It was a very, very, very good day. The way we're doing this and organizing it is very confusing, and I know that, so it's not gonna make sense to most people. But we have a friend, she hiked the AT with her siblings and her mom in 1998. So she reached out to me while we were on the AT and we conversed a little, and then she reached back out as we neared where she was in the St. John area. So she graciously invited us to stay with her during the rain days that are upon us. So we drove knowing that we will still have to visit Gerardo because weather did not allow us to paddle into that area. We're still going to visit Gerardo, hit their history, and do the entire river experience. But needless to say, we have showers, and there's one in the shower. So after we did the confluence, and yes, it was a 2-hour drive south from where we were. After we did the confluence, we waited out knowing that we still have to hit Cape and do that section. But we wanted to do the confluence before the heavy rains that are coming in the next 2 days. So we drove 2 hours south and did all of our miles of the confluence that we had set out to do. And then we drove 2 hours. Yes, we did. Part of this is the fun of it. It's the adventure. It doesn't make sense to most people, but I don't care. It's the 32 adventure and it's way fun. So we drove the 2 hours back north so that we can still see Cape, experience that. And Sarah and her family even went as far as reaching out and networking, and they got us tickets to the museums we weren't able to see in St. John the other day while we were there. So now the kids get to go to the dinosaur museum and all kinds of things that they did not expect. We also get to visit Cape and all of its history there during the 2 rain days we have. So they are not wasted rain days. We still get the fun, the education. And she has 2 little kids, Sarah does, that are 6 and 4. So our kids have kids to play with. But they are lovely, lovely accommodations. And she did vegetable beef stew for dinner, homemade with homemade bread, and just welcomed us all. The barn is massive and might as well be its own house. So we have kids, and Smokey and Diane are out in the barn, and then we have this really, really great cabin that is AT themed, that is like a little 1-room little house on the prairie cabin. And as you can see, it is, look, it's got the bed, the couch, the kitchen, and a bathroom. So the little kids and I are in here tonight, so they're not around. There's an entire play area in the barn on the 2nd story. So they're not in the barn playing all night when they should be sleeping. So they're in here with me. But overall, I could not have asked for a better day all the way around. We went from the boat club and staying there to conquering the confluence. Yes, we did it. Yes, we're still alive. And honestly, it was a non-issue. Yes, a barge went by, put out massive swells as we were coming in, but it was a non-issue. You know it, you look for it, you watch it, you're aware of it. And yes, they were very, very large swells, but nothing we could not manage. And current is really just kind of the current. It's nothing to write home about. It's nothing as huge as we wanted it to be, but it is moving. It's better than the north. So kind of excited about that. But St. Louis is done. The confluence is done. So now we just paddle south and head on into Memphis. And really the barges we passed, quite a few of them today, not too many. They did their thing. They stayed in the channel. We stayed outside of the channel. And I did not know this, or I put it all together today. It was very much an aha moment. But everybody pumped up St. Louis being big water, big current, the locks go away. And they always said it was because the locks went away. When I did the research today, I Googled and everything. The 2 largest rivers of the U.S. are the Missouri River and the Mississippi River. They come together north of St. Louis where Alton is and the Great Rivers Museum. No one ever talks about the Missouri River. No one. They just talk about St. Louis and they talk about the locks going away. That's it. So the 2 massive wind days where winds gusted up to 40, whatever they did, and the swells were 3 and maybe 4 feet. They got big. That area right there was the confluence of the Missouri River, which we knew, but the Missouri is actually considered a larger river than the Ohio River. And that is why St. Louis is so known for the larger water. Not because the locks go away, but because the Missouri joins the Mississippi right there. And we did that. Weather did not allow us to do the confluence of the Missouri, but we put in right below it at the chain of rocks, and we've managed that well, and we've now done the confluence of the Ohio, which is the third largest river in the US. So overall, it's going well. We've taken out for weather for one confluence, so it there again shows being proactive, safety, how we manage things. And then the Ohio, weather was not an issue. It did miss today. It wasn't really rain, but it was a like solid mist all day to get us enough wet to be cold, and we were a little bit soaked by the end of the day, but it was a non-issue. So that is how we navigate the Mississippi River with 7 kids in tow. Now you know. So very good day, very good day, and it is ending so lovely, and this entire cabin is AT. Look at that. Appalachian Trail, Appalachian depending on how you say it, but all of her books, everything is AT themed. It's a very homey, cozy place to come home to. So we're here for the next 2 days of rain. I'm gonna do some education and put back in where we took out way south of the confluence, and then hopefully paddle into, some locals say New Madrid, some say New Madrid. So we're headed there next to see what that holds. But overall, very good day. Confluence is done. We're all good.